Representative Jim Jordan's voice boomed through the House Judiciary Committee hearing room, laced with the kind of rehearsed outrage that came from years of political theater. And quite frankly, Congresswoman, your attacks on this committee are nothing more than partisan obstruction. We are conducting legitimate oversight. We are holding the weaponized government accountable. We are defending the Constitution against those who would abuse power for political purposes. His tie hung loosely, sleeves rolled up in his trademark style, projecting the image of a relentless fighter for the American people. His fingers stabbed the air with each point, a gesture polished from endless appearances on conservative media. The Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government had dragged on for nearly 3 hours. The room buzzed with tension. Reporters crammed into the press gallery, staffers lining the walls, and the public spilling into the hallways. This was Jordan's flagship initiative, his tool to expose what Republicans dubbed a deep state. In 2 years as chairman, the committee had convened dozens of hearings, issued 91 subpoenas, and fueled headlines in right-wing outlets. Democrats dismissed it as a sham. Jordan hailed it as a crusade for justice. The facts, buried in records, told a more nuanced story. At the witness table sat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas, composed and unmoving, her hand on a bulging leather portfolio. Invited to discuss Department of Justice oversight, she'd endured Jordan's 15-minute assault on her credibility, qualifications, and motives without uttering a word until now. You claim you want transparency, Jordan pressed on, his Ohio accent sharpening like a blade. But you and your Democratic colleagues have spent 2 years covering up the real weaponization, the Biden administration's targeting of conservatives, concerned parents at school boards, patriotic Americans seeking election integrity. Applause rippled from Republican staffers. Committee members nodded in approval. Jordan's counsel smirked. This was his arena, and the crowd played their parts flawlessly. You've questioned the integrity of this committee. Jordan's voice climbed, face flushing with feigned fury. Question our witnesses, our motives, our methods. But maybe, Congresswomen, just maybe, you should spend less time attacking those protecting Americans' constitutional rights and more time examining your own party's record of weaponization. Maybe you should ask why you're so eager to defend an administration targeting its opponents. Maybe you should consider if your resistance makes you complicit. Mr. Chairman. Crockett's 2 words sliced through the air, calm and precise, halting Jordan mid-sentence. His mouth hung open, finger frozen in accusation. For a career built on dominating discourse, the interruption stunned him into silence. The room shifted. Republicans' nods faltered. Democrats leaned in. The press gallery snapped to attention. Even the stenographer paused. Crockett drew a document from her portfolio with deliberate slowness, holding it aloft for the cameras. Congressional letterhead, seal, signature, all crystal clear. Mr. Chairman, she repeated, her tone conversational yet ominous. You spend the last 15 minutes questioning my credibility, suggesting I don't understand oversight, implying I'm shielding a weaponized government, claiming I disrespect congressional authority, attacking my motives, judgment, and commitment to the Constitution. She placed the document down like a primed explosive. So, before we continue this performance, let me ask you a question. The pause weighed heavy. Jordan's gesturing hand lowered. This committee is a select subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government, correct? Jordan's eyes narrowed. That's correct. Its purpose, investigate abuse of power and lack of accountability in government institutions. Yes. Wary now. And you firmly believe government officials must comply with lawful subpoenas and congressional oversight. Absolutely. He sensed the trap but couldn't pinpoint it. Crockett's eyes gleamed, a prosecutor with a perfect admission. Excellent. I'm glad we agree, Mr. Chairman, because it clarifies what comes next. Another weighted pause. The air conditioning hummed in the hush. You've built this committee on the idea that officials must be accountable, comply with oversight, answer to Congress, that transparency is mandatory, no one above the law. The room held its breath. So, I have one question. If those principles matter so much, why did you defy a lawful congressional subpoena? Silence crashed like a wave, oppressive and thick. Jordan's face blanked, mind racing. His counsel whispered urgently, Republicans exchanged uneasy glances. The press exploded into typing frenzy. "I don't know what you're referring to," Jordan managed, confidence cracking. "Really?" Crockett arched an eyebrow in feigned surprise. "Let me refresh your memory. December 2nd, 2021. She produced another document, congressional seal prominent, displaying it for cameras. December 22nd, 2021, the bipartisan January 6 committee issued a subpoena to Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio. That's you. It sought testimony on communications with then-President Trump on January 6 and prior days. Jordan interrupted. That subpoena was politically motivated. "I'm not finished, Mr. Chairman," Crockett cut in, voice edged. "And if you interrupt again, I'll note you had 15 uninterrupted minutes attacking me. I deserve the same." She continued. The committee had evidence, phone calls with Trump, including one at 2:24 p.m. during the riot, texts to Mark Meadows, White House meetings on electoral objections. Crockett met his gaze. All documented, public record, not speculation, from a committee with Republicans like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. Ranking Democrat Stacey Plaskett interjected, and Chairman Jordan's response to the subpoena. "I'm glad you asked," Crockett replied, unveiling Jordan's letterhead document. January 9th, 2022, Jordan refused compliance. Quote, "I have no information relevant. Despite evidence." Quote, "The subpoena is an abuse of process." He called a lawful subpoena abusive. She placed it down. "You ignored it, claimed executive privilege, despite not being executive, attorney-client privilege, despite not being Trump's lawyer. Every excuse but compliance." Crockett advanced. "But here's the hypocrisy. As Judiciary Chairman since 2023, you've issued 91 subpoenas." She brandished a binder, compiled from your records by the Center for American Progress. Subpoenas to Alvin Bragg, Fani Willis, DOJ officials, all prosecuting Trump. To tech firms for censoring conservatives. To Merrick Garland, whom you held in contempt for executive privilege, a privilege you invoked. She approached the dais. "So, when you defy a subpoena, it's defending rights. When Garland cites privilege, it's contempt. When you refuse testimony, it's resisting witch hunts. When Trump investigators cite protections, you threaten jail." Turning to the committee, why do subpoenas apply to everyone except Jim Jordan? The room erupted. Democrats applauding, Republicans objecting, press in chaos. Jordan shouted, "The Congresswoman is out of order." "No," Plaskett countered. "You attacked her credibility. She questions yours." Jerry Nadler moved. "Allow Crockett uninterrupted testimony, matching your time." The vote passed party lines. Crockett had the floor. Congresswoman Crockett returned to her materials, voice shifting to a prosecutorial build. "Mr. Chairman, your subpoena defiance while issuing 91 others isn't mere hypocrisy. It's a pattern defining your career." She displayed a legislative record from Congress.gov. "You've served since 2007, 16 years, taxpayer salary, sessions, bill authoring chances." Pause for emphasis. How many sponsored bills became law? Jordan gripped the dais. Silent. "Zero," Crockett whispered, amplifying the weight. "Not one. No veteran aid, healthcare, economy bills. Nothing constructive." She unveiled a chart. "You passed one resolution, H.R. 565, 2014, urging Eric Holder to investigate the IRS. One paper pushing investigation. That's your legacy." Jamie Raskin queried. "Average for 16-year members." 12 to 18 bills, Crockett cited. "You're at zero. It shows. You're not here to build, but obstruct, attack, dismantle." A screen lit with a quote. "Why, I just never saw a guy who spent more time tearing things apart, never building anything." Former Speaker John Boehner. Your fellow Ohio Republican called you a legislative terrorist in his memoir. Jordan. "Boehner and I disagreed on policy." "Not policy," Crockett retorted. "Behavior. No building, only destruction. No legislation, obstruction. No compromise, deal-blowing." She advanced the slide, Jordan's shutdown timeline. Let's examine accomplishments. Government shutdowns. 2013. As Republican Study Committee powerhouse, you led shutdown over Obamacare. 16 days, 800,000 furloughed, $24 billion damage. 2018 to 2019. Push border wall shutdown. 35 days, longest ever. Workers unpaid through holidays. Parks damaged. For stunt. Transcript up. Fox appearance quote on permanent sequester cuts. You wanted endless shutdown. No alternatives authored. No healthcare reform, immigration bills. Just no and threats. Goldman. Any solutions during disputes? None. Crockett stated. He weaponized shutdowns thrice, harming workers, services, for points, Fox spots, positioning as extreme. Quote slide. Jim Jordan was never known as a compromiser, better for blowing up deals. Former Representative Charlie Dent, Republican, Pennsylvania. Another Republican, better in opposition than for things. Crockett faced Jordan. Your legacy, 16 years against 0-4. Everyone knows it. She shifted. Failing in Congress is one thing. Failing when your party empowers you is remarkable. Folder out. October 2023 articles. Your speaker bid, McCarthy ousted, Freedom Caucus pushed you, Trump endorsed. But your party rejected you thrice. Headlines. Jordan falls short, 20 up against. Loses second, 22 against. Bid collapses. Quotes. Representative Don Bacon. Irony, not America if rules don't apply. Representative Ken Buck, Republican, Colorado, must admit Trump loss. Representative Steve Womack, Republican, Arkansas, House of Cards fiasco. Even allies cited your election lies, destructiveness, and threats. Bacon's wife got pressuring texts, backfired. Crockett, own party deemed you unfit, extreme, divisive, destructive. Plaskett, sounds like Republican confirm obstructionist label. Exactly, Crockett agreed, and worse ahead. Tonegrave, we began with your subpoena, but not full January 6 roll. January 6 report out, 800-plus pages, tabbed. Final report, you were a significant player in Trump's efforts. Numerous post-election meetings with White House, Giuliani on fraud claims, overturned strategies. You attended December 21, 2020, January 3, 2021 White House meetings on preventing certification. Close report, held aloft. Subpoena for involvement, Trump meetings, Giuliani coordination, Meadows text, post-attack certification vote against. New document, Cassidy Hutchinson testimony. White House aide Hutchinson testified under oath. Jordan discussed presidential pardons for Congress members in overturn attempts. Silence absolute. Pardons, Mr. Chairman. Innocent people don't seek them. Jordan rose. Mischaracterization. Is it? Crockett press. She swore under oath. Calling her liar. Misunderstood. Testify. Oh, you refused. You can't claim unfair portrayal without clarifying under oath. Goldman. Move to refer to congressional ethics. Pardon seeks plus refusal warrant review. Objection shouted, but narrative cracked. Crockett. Pattern. Avoid accountability. Demand from others. As chaos subsided, Crockett unveiled a folder labeled Financial Disclosures. Mr. Chairman, you constantly assail big tech for censoring conservatives, hold hearings, issue subpoenas of communications. Open folder, but you omit something in attacks. Care to share? Silence. Google, Crockett revealed, campaign finance report up. Donated to you every cycle since 2012, $10,000 in 2020. The Google you accuse of bias. Next report. Representative Ken Buck, your committee's antitrust expert. Push big tech breakups. Senior on subcommittee, assumed chair. But you blocked him. Why? Raskin, perhaps Buck would enforce against donors. Reasonable, Crockett said. Tucker Carlson criticized you for taking Google cash while fighting tech. Conservatives spot hypocrisy. Close folder. You perform anti-tech for cameras, take money, block reform. Not fighting, protecting from consequences. New folder, 2023 to 2024 Freedom Caucus articles. You co-founded House Freedom Caucus 2014, first chairman, for conservative principles, United Bloc. But under you, implosion. Articles, July 2023, eject Marjorie Taylor Greene, absent allies. June 2024, remove Warren Davidson, 16 to 13, absent supporters. July 2024, Troy Nehls resigns, calls backstabbing. Causing fractures, potential mass exodus per CNN. Anonymous quote, uncomfortable in meetings, group broken. Crockett to Jordan, your founded group, distrust, secret sessions, ineffective. Can't manage 40 allies sharing values. How oversee federal government? Expression solemn. Pattern predates Congress. Handled carefully. 2018 articles out. Ohio State. Former athletes allege coaches ignored team doctor misconduct. 1987 to 1995. You assistant wrestling coach. Multiple athletes. Spoke to you. Independent Perkins Coy investigation. Open secret. Document. Mike DiSabato contacted you pre-university. You leave me out. Your statement. Never saw, heard, reported abuse. Key transcript. February 2020. Ohio House. Adam DiSabato under oath. Jordan Cole crying, begging against brother. Half-air. Cover-up. Crockett. You denied. As always, avoid, deny, deflect. Linked. 3 years later, defied January 6 subpoena. Same pattern. Accountability calls. You evade. Voice rising. Then audaciously create weaponization committee. Demand accountability you avoid. Issue 91 subpoenas. Contempt for privileges you claimed. Attack resistors as you resisted. Gathered documents. Undeniable pattern. Rules for the not me. Room chaotic. Applause. Huddles. Pandemonium. Jordan banged gavel. Order. Settled. He leaned in, patient with your theatricals. Theatrical. Crockett laughed sharply. Cited your words, records, documents, reports. If facts theatrical, your record damns. Out of context. Provide context, she challenged. Explain defying subpoena okay for you. Contempt for others. Explain 91 issued. Yours ignored. Explain 0 accomplishments. Jordan faltered, waving notes away. Goldman. Follow up on credibility. Recognized. You held Garland in contempt for noncompliance. Yes, stonewalling. He cited executive privilege. Bogus. But legal claim, like your due process, abuse on subpoena. Different. How? Goldman pressed. Both defenses. Difference. Your claim valid. There's not. Hypocrisy. Democratic applause. Jordan gavelled futilely. Raskin. Not partisan. Holding you to your standards. Crockett proved you don't. Crockett stood for finale. Room hushed. Clear. Not politics disagreement. Not Biden defense. Holding you to demanded standards. Easel timeline. Jim Jordan Patton, 1987 to 2024. 1987 to 1995, OSU coach, AFS report, Jordan, leave out, later, never heard. Avoid, deny. 2007-2023, Congress, 16 years, 0 laws. 1 resolution. Obstruction, no construction. 2013, 2018 to 19, shutdowns, led 16-day, 35-day. Terrorist, Paberna. Weaponize, no solution. 2014 present. Freedom Caucus, founded, now imploding. Ejections, resignations. Can't manage allies. Crockett continued her exposition beside the timeline, allowing the visual to underscore her points. The hearing room, once Jordan's domain, now felt like a courtroom where he was a defendant. 2021, January 6 involvement. Significant player per report. White House meetings on overturn. Discussed pardons. Voted against certification post-attack. Active participant seeks immunity. She pointed to the next entry. 2021 defies subpoena. January 6 committee issues. Jordan, nothing relevant. Refuses, cites privilege no basis. Rules don't apply. The committee members studied the board, murmurs rippling through the audience. 2023 failed speaker bid. Party nominates, but 20-plus got vote against. Cite extremism, destructiveness, threats to opponents. Even allies distrust leadership. Crockett's finger traced downward. 2023 to 2024, Judiciary Chairman, 91 subpoenas to Trump prosecutors. Contempt for Garland, same as Jordan did. Takes Google dollar, blocks antitrust expert. Weaponization committee, zero evidence. Weaponizes what he investigates. She stepped back, letting the timeline stand as irrefutable evidence. 16 years, Mr. Chairman. A documented pattern. When accountable, refuse. Transparent, deflect. Subpoenaed, defy. Questioned, attack. Her voice intensified. But then you demand compliance from others with standards you ignore. Issue subpoenas while dodging yours. Hold contempt for privileges you claimed. Investigate weaponization while weaponizing your committee. Demand accountability while evading it. Call for transparency while hiding. Facing the committee. This isn't oversight. It's projection. Investigating yourselves. Blaming others. Created a committee to attack accountability you've avoided for 16 years. She began packing her portfolio. I came to testify on DOJ procedures. You attacked my credibility, opening the door to yours. Direct gaze at Jordan. What we found, a man who never builds, only tears down. Demands what he refuses. Weaponizes power while probing weaponization. After 16 years, one skill, saying no masterfully. Picked up portfolio. This committee lacks credibility. Investigation no legitimacy. Chairman no standing for transparency he denies. Walking out. Pause. You ask what I teach on oversight. This oversight for all. Accountability for all. Transparency for all. Rules for all. Echoing. Even you, Mr. Chairman. Even Jim Jordan. Music fades. Epilogue. The unraveling. 3 days post-hearing. Washington burned with fallout. News outlets blared the story. Jordan hypocrisy trended globally. Fox News faltered in defense. Top clip. Crockett's why subpoenas are everyone except you. Jordan's silent freeze. 50 million views. Second, animated timeline of 16-year pattern. Avoid, deny, deflect, attack. 30 million views. Analysts, watershed dismantling. National Review, can't refute. Refuse subpoena, can't contempt others. Logic, not partisanship. Wall Street Journal. Accountability problem. Jordan's committee undermined by his avoidance. Fox host. Jordan supporter, but he must explain. Can't refuse while demanding. Week later, Democrats file ethics complaint. GOP senators call committee embarrassment. Hearings empty, media gone. Whistleblowers exposed as Trump aide. Staff leak low morale. No evidence. Pew poll. 68% say Jordan should comply of expecting others. 43% Republicans. 71% independents. 89% Democrats. Base eroded. 6 months on. Committee a husk. Sparse hearings. Declined witnesses citing Jordan's defiance of precedent. Subpoenas ignored for his example. Irrelevantly weaponized. Jordan still on Fox. Speeches fiery, subpoenas issued, but authority vanished. Fear gone, power dissolved, pattern exposed, hypocrisy documented, consequences caught up. In a Capitol Hill coffee shop, Crockett met law student interns from the hearing. How prepared? One asked. 3 months, transcripts, bills, subpoenas, interviews, votes. Built timeline meticulously. Calm under attack. Knew my portfolio's contents. Let him dig deeper, then facts. Showed message from Adam Diasabato. Thanks for accountability. 16 years avoided. You didn't. Matters. Why? For dismissed voices, athletes, January 6 members, furloughed workers, deserving better than obstruction. Student, changed anything? Committee persists, his chairman, still on Fox. System not fixed instantly. Pause, but perception shifted. Mask off, pattern seen, can't unsee. Gathered things. Legal principle, unclean hands can't seek equity. Jordan violated 16 years, demanded justice while unjust. Stood, needed saying on record, documented, mirrored. At door, testify again. Smiled, shook head, won't invite, said what needed, record complete. To students, next demand, remember September 2024. Timeline, hypocrisy, rules for all. Words weighted with truth, even Jim Jordan. The hearing's aftermath rippled far beyond the chamber, reshaping narratives and exposing fissures in political armor. What began as a routine oversight session had evolved into a masterclass in accountability, with Crockett's meticulous dissection leaving an indelible mark on public discourse. In the days following, social media amplified the key moments. Memes of Jordan's frozen expression circulated widely, captioned with Crockett's piercing question. Late-night shows replayed clips, comedians mimicking his bombastic style crumbling under calm scrutiny. Editorial cartoons depicted him issuing subpoenas with one hand while dodging his own with the other. Conservative circles grapple with the revelations. Talk radio hosts, once staunch allies, fielded call from listeners questioning Jordan's 0 legislative wins. If it's all talk and no action, what's the point? One caller asked on a popular show. The host, usually defensive, conceded, it's a fair point. We need builders, not just fighters. On the Hill, whispers turned to actions. The ethics complaint gained traction, with additional signatures from moderate Republicans wary of the committee's tarnished image. Staff turnover spiked. Aides leaked memos showing hearings scripted for media hits rather than substantive inquiry. One anonymous source told Politico, it's all theater, no real evidence of weaponization, just recycled grievances. Jordan's public appearances grew defensive. In a Fox interview, he dismissed Crockett's presentation as Democrat smears, but dodged specifics on his subpoena defiance. Pressed on 0 bills, he pivoted. I fought bad legislation. That's achievement. Viewers noticed a shift. Online comments reflected disillusionment even among supporters. Crockett, meanwhile, became a symbol of unflinching preparation. Interviews flooded in. She emphasized facts over flair. I didn't go for gotchas. I went for the record. Let the documents speak. Her portfolio, now legendary, inspired young activists to compile their own accountability binders. The broader impact hit the Weaponization Committee hardest. Planned hearings on Biden's DOJ abuses drew sparse crowds. Witnesses, emboldened, invoked Jordan's precedent. If the chairman can cite privilege, so can I. Subpoenas went unanswered without repercussion, courts citing inconsistency in enforcement. By year's end, funding debates arose. A bipartisan group proposed sunsetting the committee, arguing it had devolved into partisanship. Jordan fought back in floor speeches, but his rhetoric rang hollow. Polls showed public trust in congressional oversight at lows, with Jordan's name synonymous with hypocrisy. In her coffee shop meeting, Crockett fielded more questions. What if he retaliates? A student asked. He might try, she replied. But sunlight disinfects. The pattern's public now. Any attack reinforces it. Another, advice for future leaders. Build. Don't just block. Legislate for people, not cameras. And when accountable, show up. Hiding erodes everything. As she left, her words lingered, a call to integrity in a fractured system. Back in the chamber's echo, the timeline stood as testament. Jordan's career, once defined by unyielding aggression, now bore the scar of exposure. The deep state he railed against paled against the deeper flaw, a leader who demanded what he wouldn't give. The hearing didn't topple empires, but it cracked facades. In Washington, where power thrives on perception, that was revolution enough.